Are you somebody that has a love for doing the deep soul work? Maybe you're somebody who's been on the journey, you've taken a lot of courses, you've read a lot of books, but you don't know how to actually turn it into a career. Well, today I'm going to share with you the 3 simple steps to turn your soul's purpose into a career, to discover your soul's purpose, monetize your gifts, and make an impact. Welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. May you live your truth. Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. E, Dr. Divinity and Master Spiritual Coach, and I am so excited. We just finished a really big series on E4 method. We went through kind of my whole journey of my spiritual awakening, how I created E4 method, and going into really healing your past, empowering your present, and manifesting your future highest self. We dove into what are the 4 steps, how do we do current life regressions, past life regressions, and then how do we flip the process to quantum manifest and time compress and really manifest your future highest self? And then we finally went into, of course, living the E4, which means having a daily spiritual practice and how to actually use the E4 different steps for current real-time upsets and being able to transform and transcend energetics and emotions. So today, I want to actually share with you, how do you actually turn your soul's purpose into a career? Most of you guys are like me. You're obsessed with the work. And for a lot of you, you actually want to turn it into a career. Maybe for some of you, you don't. But the reality is, I've never worked with one person, one client that didn't, when they did their inner work, when they did their deep healing and did their full awakening, they had something, a mission, a calling, something that comes out of it for them. So today, I want to share the 3 simple steps to turn your soul's purpose into a career. So I'd like to begin by just sharing a little bit of my own personal journey. I mean, I share with you about how I had a stillborn and how I went on a deep, deep track into the spiritual soul clearing work. And that was incredible. I was willing to put all my effort, all my resources, everything into that because I was fully committed. But I realized something really important along my journey when I wanted to turn it into a career and monetize it. And I realized I actually wasn't fully committed to that. I thought, well, once I can figure out that I can get clients, then I'll get committed. And we know the universe doesn't work like that. So before we even get into the 3 steps, I invite you to really just reflect and get real and radically honest with yourself. How committed are you? Or are you just kind of dabbling in the discovery, which a lot of people do? They go into all the free gifts, the funnels everywhere, all that stuff, and they kind of dabble in all of it. And what ends up happening is years go by where they actually don't even monetize or turn it into a career. And then they start to get frustrated, overwhelmed, and want to give up. And so the intention of this podcast today is really to have you realize that you can turn it into a career. In fact, I believe we're in a time in history where so many people are reaching for deep healing work, for spirituality. I believe that it is a huge tidal wave happening on this planet right now, and a prophetic time in history when everyone will come to this new awakening in the Aquarius age where we use technology and really have community and come together to know the truth across the globe. So the 3 things. Number 1 is, of course, your inner work, right? And for most of you guys, you probably have done a lot of work. I hear this over and over from people. We hear it in the school over and over. I did my trauma work. I've done all of it, right? And then they come in and do E4 and they think, oh, I actually hadn't done it. I had done a lot of trauma-informed work, but I actually hadn't done my trauma healing work, okay? So there's an M phenomenon when you do E4 and when you do your current life and past life regressions. And the biggest thing is that people birth their soul's purpose. And one of the big mistakes I see people also make is they try and figure out their soul's purpose. They use their logical mind, they look to the world, and they end up getting even more confused and overwhelmed. So doing your deep inner work is imperative. And what I want to say is I'm actually going to put a link below here for you to come into a free masterclass. I'm going to dive much deeper into these 3 things of how to actually do your inner work, what's all, what really needs to happen to birth your soul's purpose, get really clear of your core values, and really get clear of your mission in this lifetime. Okay. So you can click that link below. It's totally free. You can go in there, but it's very strategic. There's a presentation on all of it, but I'll pull up a little thing right here. Okay, so I wanted to pull this up real quick. The three steps to discover your soul's purpose, monetize your gifts, and make an impact. There's three things that have to be mastered, in my opinion. Number one is your inner work, really truly being able to birth your soul's purpose. And second is launching your business, your coaching business. Business is very specific. It's very different than doing your inner work. Business is very strategic. It is tangible. It has very specific steps in it. And the third is coaching your clients, meaning getting radical results for your clients. If you don't get results for your clients, you're not going to get testimonials. You're not going to have clients that want to work with you more. And you're definitely not going to get referrals. So you're going to have a marketing kind of nightmare on your hands. So these three things are what I consider coaching mastery, doing your inner work, launching your business, and coaching your clients. I'm always developing myself in these things, right? We're connected to the collective consciousness. So I'm never done with my inner work, hence why I do this work on the planet, because there's one mind, there's one soul, and there's one life. And launching my business, I'm constantly being developed by other coaches, experts in the industry to get me to the next level. And then, of course, coaching my clients, we're always developing all the work within the school, getting it even more organized, honing everything down. We're now launching a partner program and an MLM aspect of our community as well. So we're constantly being developed and will forever. And the good thing is we love growth. And so if you love growth, you love learning, the coaching industry is a great one because we're able to keep growing, keep expanding, and legally we can practice across the globe versus like a therapist can only practice in, say, one state that they're in. So we're very blessed to be in the industry. Okay, so I'll stop there. So a little bit further about my personal journey of turning my love for, spirituality and soul work and coaching and transformation into a career, right? I began to do all that deep work. And then once I decided I want to make it into a career, it wasn't till like 15 years later. I've been on my spiritual journey for 30 years since I had my stillborn. And it wasn't until about 15 years that I began to actually monetize. So it took me a long time. And I mean, the thing is, when I began, I didn't even think about monetizing it. I just wanted to heal myself. But when I decided, hey, I want to actually turn this into a career, I didn't know where to go. I didn't even believe I was worthy of having support or hiring a coach for that, right? I was very scared to spend money on it. I came from a lot of scarcity. And even though I had like saved so much money, I was still in scarcity. I was hoarding my money, right? So I began to really look at how do I expect for clients to pay for me if I'm not willing to pay for a coach myself? Our clients are a mirror of ourselves, right? So you have to ask yourself, where are you holding back? Where are you coming from limitation? Where are you coming from scarcity? And your clients are going to be the reflection of that for you. So again, really the first step in turning your soul's purpose into a career is getting committed. And the thing is, you can't be 97% committed. You're either 100% committed or you're not committed. So you really need to take a look at that and ask yourself, how committed am I? And if you're committed, it really is you're willing to do whatever it takes to fulfill your goal and to live that vision that's been placed in your heart by your higher self, by God's source within. Okay, so back to the three steps. Number one is doing your inner work, which is the E4, and doing deep, deep soul clearing work. The thing is, I can teach somebody all the business skill set, but they're going to sabotage it or they just won't be able to have the success because their identity is, I'm not enough, something's wrong with me, right? People don't like me, whatever that identity, those false identities are. So they're just going to keep projecting out and reflecting back. So we have to do that deep, deep soul clearing work. And we need to birth the soul's purpose. There's a lot of coaches these days, right? So how do you stand out in the industry? And one of the things my commitment for my clients and within the school is I always want to see people as the world-renowned expert in fill in the blank. So say, for example, I have a client that comes in and they, have dealt with, say, massive codependency or domestic violence, or, they were a child of an alcoholic or whatever it is. Those things that they have triumph over become their niche, right? It's more important than even, say, a college degree in today's world. People care about why you? Why are you worthy of being the expert in the industry? And life experience and being able to prove yourself through testimonials and getting results for yourself and your clients is what people are really looking for. So number one is doing your inner work and doing all that. The second step is the business of coaching. We teach the 6 steps of business inside of our school, and it's also in the free masterclass that you can join below. Those 6 steps are all about position yourself in the marketplace, having freebies and lead generation. One of the big mistakes I see people do is they will say, "Hey, I shouted out a free, or $100 session on social media and I got crickets," right? Or, I gave a freebie, they give a freebie of a meditation on how to sleep, but their whole conversation is about domestic violence. Like it doesn't go in alignment. We want things that are teeing us up as experts, and that really truly we want to speak to one unique, specific avatar and client. We want to have our gifts and our freebies in alignment with what we're solving for that unique client. And we want to come into what's called a value sequence, an event, a masterclass, a 3-day challenge, a 5-day challenge, something on in person or online where we can build a relationship. The entire industry is changing drastically. What it was 5 years ago is very different than what it is now. Social media is not the same. You can't just post and be seen wherever. You have to have specific conversations on social media. And how we actually are finding people are getting clients or turning their love for this work into a career is actually by pro bonos, getting radical results for people and showing them and giving them an experience. And in that, they're either like, wow, I've got to do more of this work, or they talk about it with other friends and they bring referrals in, whatever that is. That's the number one way that we're seeing our clients getting clients. Okay. But we also teach the 6 step because it's very important. It's important to tee yourself as an expert up, online and in person. You don't have to like the online world. You may do events in your neighborhood, in your city, right? But you've got to have them go through a sequence of things to build relationship with you. So say, for example, some of my clients, they may have first found me on my podcast, randomly stumbled on it or had a friend tell them, hey, listen to this. And they begin to know me. They begin to understand what's the work that this woman does, right? Maybe they opt in and they get the free universal law calendar. Now they're kind of like in that conversation, learning about universal law, coming back in here weekly, watching or listening to this podcast. They can come into the new app, by the way. I'm super excited to announce that we have a brand new app that you can come in and have community around, okay? And then what happens after that? They're invited maybe into a value sequence. Maybe they're coming into a strategy session, a free strategy session, or maybe they're coming into a free soul session event or something like that. And they're building relationship. They're like, oh, I like Dr. Aaron, or oh, I can't stand this woman, right? They're like, do I resonate? Do I not resonate? They're having a relationship. And hopefully I'm bringing value, value, value to them, right? And then they're like, wow, I mean, this was free. Imagine if I actually came into invested in a program with Dr. Aaron, and imagine what it would be like if this is free and I'm getting all this value, right? So we have a value sequence, okay? And then we have what's called an irresistible offer. Irresistible offers are not about manipulating people. It's about helping people who are committed, getting committed to their dreams, not committed to us or a program, but rather getting committed to themselves. So we do this through having juxtapositions. We do this through having bonuses. We do this through really giving massive, massive value. I mean, I work with CEOs, very big CEOs. I have a waiting list. I generally will only work with 2 one-on-ones at a time. I'm $100,000 to work with at a time, and I have a wait list. Okay. It's not my main thing because I like to serve in the school. I love to train people who are going to be bringing the work out to the world. Right. So, but they go, oh, well, I can work with Dr. Aaron for $1,000 or $5,000 or whatever instead of $100,000. So it's a juxtaposition. It helps them make decisions. Right. So number one, again, you want to do your deep, deep soul work, getting clear of your soul's purpose, getting clear of your core values. We actually take our clients down what's called a life's manual, because if you want to run a business and be a coach, you got to have a massive leadership consciousness. You need to know what your values are, policies, procedures, all that thing. Okay. Then the second step, remember, is your business of coaching. You've got to learn the 6 steps. You've got to get really clear of your messaging. You've got to get really clear of who you're speaking to, what problem you're solving. Because the truth is, people don't buy your time. They buy the result that you're promising you're going to get them. Our guarantee in like our signature program is that you will discover your soul's purpose. Okay. You will monetize your gifts as a coach and you will make an impact. And if you do what I coach you to do and you haven't, done those things, then you have me for life. Okay. So second thing is your business of coaching. You've got to get developed in your coaching. I hire coaches all the time and I can't afford to not because if a coach can get me somewhere 10 times faster than it takes me, what's that cost of inaction, right? So we have to know as coaches and as business people that we can't afford to not have experts in our team, okay? And then the third step to turn your soul's purpose into a career is getting radical results for your clients. If you're a coach, I mean, there's nothing worse. I remember back in the day, I didn't have a framework. I hadn't developed E4. And I was like, actually, I was afraid to actually get a client because like, what would I actually do with them? I had no framework. I had nothing, right? It was like, I'm just going to wing it. And like, that doesn't work. And it's out of ethics, right? So what we recommend in the third step of getting radical results for your clients, number one is getting trained and certified in a proven system, okay? And number two is developing your own products and prices. I mean, your own products and programs, okay? So I recommend doing both. The people that come into the school, it's taken me 8 years to figure out all the programs, all the processes, onboarding, offboarding, accountability things. I have huge coaches that come to me to help them develop their community and their systems. So you can do it on your own, but how much time is that going to take you? How many breakdowns? How many headaches, right? So you really have to think about what it is that's your core vision of your life and get committed to that vision. And once you're committed to that goal and that vision, then you really have to ask yourself, what is the highest use of my time? Who can I model? What coach, what mentor is already in place where I want to be that can help me get there easier? And this is really, the synergy. We're not supposed to do it alone. We're supposed to really, truly have all the help, all the assistance, and we are each other's angels. We are each other's peers. We're walking each other home. We're all doing this. We're in a prophetic time where truth is coming to the world exponentially. And so, again, you can grab that free masterclass below. It goes into detail of everything that needs to be done to do your inner work, the 6 steps of business, very strategic, how to create your niche, right? How to create freebies, what that looks like, how to do value sequences, how to have a irresistible offer, all that. And then it goes into getting radical results for your clients as well. So on that note, let's get into today's universal law lesson. So the universal law of this week is a law of transcendence, which basically states that everything is here for our transcendence. Everything's for us to transcend and evolve and grow and expand consciousness. When we turn the dark into the light, that really is the guru. You're the guru, right? The consciousness that transforms the dark into the light is the guru. And when we do that work, we transcend. We literally expand exponentially, which means we actually go into a higher frequency, which actually means that we go into the inner world even more. The higher frequency and God's source is within. Transcending is not above, it's the higher frequency, which is actually the innermost frequency. And what I know for sure is all of life is for your transcendence. Every suffering, every challenge, every hard thing is actually there for your growth. And that's why we say it's all good because it's all God, because it's all for growth. So the journaling prompt of this week is to make a list of every place in your life where you feel like you're the effect or you just don't feel empowered. Make a list of all those. And then take that list and take them into your meditation and into your prayer and watch the miracles transcend. Prayer, one of 3 things happen in prayer. Either one, it doesn't seem like a problem anymore when you come out of prayer. Once you've thought about that problem, it literally like doesn't seem like a problem anymore. Or number two, you have a new innovation or a way you're like, oh, I know how I can handle this. I have a new insight, right? Or number three, a miracle happens. Maybe it's about money and maybe all of a sudden you got, a text or a client paid you some money that they needed to pay you or whatever happens, right? A miracle happens. Those 1 of 3 happens when we have prayer. And so lastly, let's just take a deep breath together. Taking a deep breath together, doing a spiritual mind treatment. spiritual prayer. I'm just knowing right here, right now, this beautiful, beautiful ending to this E4 series. I'm knowing that dreams are being fulfilled, of turning their soul's purpose into a career, turning the love for spirituality into the life's mission. I recognize right here, right now, that every single person, our soul family, our soul community right here, has a soul's purpose. It's been written on the cells of the heart, and the primary soul's purpose is to know thyself, to heal thyself. And in the soul's purpose, the unique divine soul's purpose is birth, the life's purpose, helping others who have gone through or are going through the same trials that you've been through, recognizing the triumph that you embody, the truth that you embody, the love that you embody, and helping bring that to this world. I'm just knowing absolute thriving careers that you love, that we love. I'm knowing great prosperity and abundance. I'm knowing organization, knowing the first principle of heaven is order, and that businesses are organizations. May we embody organization. I recognize releasing the need to figure out the soul's purpose with the egoic and analytical mind, but rather coming into doing the deep work and trusting the process, birthing that soul's purpose like a baby that can't be birthed faster than it's being birthed. May we focus on becoming extraordinary people right here, right now, today, asking ourselves, are we our word? Are we living truth? Are we only speaking what we want to create instead of gossiping or complaining? May we be the embodiment of truth right here, right now. May we transcend our lives today. I know this is done in the name of truth. As together we say, and so it is. Okay, you guys, you can grab the free masterclass right below here and dive deeper into the 3 simple steps to turn your soul's purpose into a career. You can also grab the Universal Law Calendar, get that on there, come back in here, listen or watch the podcast every week. You can actually come into our brand new app, Soulciety, and you can come into the free community, or if you want to join Soulciety or rise up into the certification programs. I want you guys to know that we love you. We really value spiritual community, and we are here for you. Have a beautiful, blessed day. And if you could please subscribe, give a review, all the support really helps you guys. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and may you live your truth.